Communication in general is a struggle for most people, but is especially prominent when it comes to relationships or in a marriage. In fact, bad communication is cited as the most common reason for divorce, according to the study Reasons for Divorce and Openness to Marital Reconciliation by Alan J. Hawkins. I'll have that whole study linked below in the description. The 2008 survey talked to over 800 couples in the state of Minnesota and found that 53% of divorcees say they can't talk together as the main reason for their divorce. Communication and the constant work to keep an open line between you and your spouse or partner is incredibly time-consuming. Like everything else in life, it would be so much better and easier if technology came in and there was some sort of app that allows you to communicate with your partner. Maybe an app that allows you to pair up with your partner's phone so you don't have to set up time each day or each week to talk directly. With constant phone reminders and something, in case you forget. Oh wait, there is an app, and that app is called Paired. For every day for the next 60 days, or previous 60 days, since this is an experiment in the past, my wife and I will utilize the Paired app to see if it strengthens the communication skills in our marriage. My name is Jack Jenkins. I do product reviews and challenges in the realm of self-improvement to recommend you guys the best products to use. Today, I'm going to be talking about Paired.
For self-improvement, crafts, and fitness games, go ahead and turn on YouTube and watch Jack.
According to the website, Paired is the #1 relationship app that allows you to discuss different topics as a couple. It does that through answering various different prompts, taking various quizzes, and playing different types of games. This works for both straight couples and those couples who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, whatever. The app is completely open, which is good for those. You could probably tell from the side next to me what it's all about. I'd like to think of Paired as kind of like an in-between for going to a couples therapist and doing those BuzzFeed quizzes together. It's right there in between. The Paired app won Apple's App of the Day back in January of 2023, and that caused it to explode in popularity. It now currently sits at number 10 on the App Store's ranking for the health and fitness category. That is when I'm reviewing this in July of 2023. A ton of people gave it big positive reviews. Still, I noticed that there were mostly newer relationships or couples who are in long distance relationships, as said in the reviews. I wanted to know if this app works or is recommended for someone like me who has been married for about 9 to 10 years now. God, it's been 9 years since I've got with my wife. That's crazy. The answer to this question is yes or no, and I'll explain in a little bit. First, let me get the details of the app out of the way. The app does have a free section, but it is incredibly limited. You only get access to the daily conversation each day, which can spark a good discussion or two, but isn't really enough to kind of sink your teeth in, and you don't get any of that legacy old content. Getting the full experience of all the past conversations, quizzes, games, and more will cost you $15 per month or $75 per year. That does include your partner, so technically it's $7.50 per person per month. I wanted to get the price out of the way now because that is priced way too high in my opinion. $6 or $7 per month for both people would be perfect price, not $15. Cut it in half, give me $6 per month, we're golden. At the app's current state, this shouldn't have really too much development and maintenance cost, since it's basically just like a bunch of quizzes, articles, and prompts that you type into a database that then get fed into the app. There's not like, you're not hiring people for content exclusively, as far as I can tell, besides the, experts. From that $15 a month, I expect more video content and audio content, as well as some like AI integration. For background's sake, I am a .NET software developer in my daytime, so I do expect a bit more for software for my money than most people. Even the yearly price of $75 is much farther than the $50 that I think it should cost. What you get for that price? Well, once you and your partner log into the main app, you are met with a homepage that displays a ton of various quizzes and questions to answer. Each day, there is a new conversation, which is what they call the different quizzes and all that stuff, which are sorted into these various categories. Those categories are questions, quiz, game, conversation, and exercises. Quizzes are where you get to select an answer to a prompt. It'll say like, hey, what's your favorite vacation home? And it'll be like, by the beach. Games have you try and guess what your partner would guess during the quiz to see how well you know them. So you answer, instead of answering a question of what you want, you would answer the question for what your partner would have want. Questions are written responses to a prompt, and conversations are a collection of these questions. Exercises are single question quizzes that contain an article by relationship experts. My wife and I's favorite conversation category is actually a subcategory of games called You or Me. The game has a prompt where you have to drag either to you or your partner to associate it with each other. So let's say it pops up, it'll be like, who's the cleaner one, you or your wife? And you have to swipe through, and it tells you who answered to what. It's actually a fun time, but since it's actually a subcategory of a regular category, there's only 5 or 6 of these games. I assume it will be moved out of its own conversation type once there's actually 20 different options. That way it's kind of separate away from games. But for now, it's all kind of just subcategorized. All of these conversations are sorted into different genres, such as finances, family and friends, sex and intimacy, and more. When picking from a quiz or conversation type, you can either pick the topic, conversation category, or specialist if you're looking at the exercises. Those exercises, by the way, are very hit and miss, with the article being either really great or really bad, with no in between. Some of them actually feel like AI generated with no personality, whereas others of them are very detailed with links to these various studies, different percentages, and interesting statistics. At the end, though, there's just a single word quiz that's supposed to summarize the end of the article, and then you just move on. With the basic app outlined, it's time for me to go into my little experiments. My wife and I decided to begin the journey by ranking our relationship on a scale of 1 to 10. We hoped by the end of this that the number will be higher due to the paired app, and this will help test to see if this is worth it for a couple like us, together for almost 10 years, pretty strong relationship, etc., etc. Our current rating at the time of the beginning of this test was an 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good, but there is definitely some room for fixes, which we hope this app would help fix. Most of the complaints coming from my wife is me being super tired between work and doing all the rest of the things in life. These outside factors, of course, affected the relationship negatively and can cause me to be quite grumpy. Especially in the morning, I am someone who needs his cup of coffee. Do not talk to me without my coffee. My concerns with my wife are more related to the finances, relating to that student loan debt, which is good because Biden is going to cancel. Welp. That sucks. To help me pay back all that debt, please give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel utilizing the subscribe button below. Please, I eventually want to turn this into something that makes a little bit of money so that way it can help by buy more apps, do more experiments, etc. But with that kind of like experiment outlined, we started off by wanting to record some of these conversations. For the sake of the video length, I'll show the first one, which is the first quiz people should take when opening the app. That is the relationship checklist. To get the best results, remember your relationship will benefit if you answer honestly. This is not a test. There's no pass or fail. So question 1. I am very satisfied with how we balance home and work life. I'm very satisfied too. How are you?
I mean,
we don't really have we don't have kids or anything like that.
No.
So this is a very easy question.
I guess I'm satisfied.
So your guess, is that like a half a heart or 3/4 a heart?
I would say 3/4.
3/4 a heart. Agree. What do you think we should change?
I mean, you work from home. I mean,
I feel good about our relationship with family and friends. We don't really have a lot of friends.
Well, we do have friends, a couple. I mean...
And then our family lives like 10 states away.
So I think the friends are fine. I mean, we'd like to have more friends, of course, that like to do more things, more adventurous. But my thing would be with the family, living closer to family. So
half a heart, a fourth of a heart?
A half a heart.
Half a heart?
Yeah. I'd like to live closer to family.
I'm very satisfied with how we communicate with each other. I think I am. I'm maybe a half a heart.
Why half a heart?
I feel like we communicate. I mostly communicate non-verbally, and I feel like you miss a lot of the cues. Like if I'm tired or if I don't want to talk or if I'm like excluded, I feel like you can't pick that up very quickly.
Well, you're also not always are polite about it.
So half a heart, a fourth of a heart? Be honest. How bad are we?
I would say half.
Yeah, there's definitely work to be with how we communicate.
Yeah.
Again, I'm mostly a non-verbal communicator. You're very verbal, but we are able to discuss and resolve conflict. I think full heart.
Yeah, I think so.
Or you can easily solve any conflicts. Yeah. We have fun and go on adventures together.
Yeah, I think full heart.
Full heart, yeah.
We just went to the Arboretum today.
We just went to an Arboretum. We walked for like 3 hours. My feet are killing me. Our lives together have purpose and meaning.
I think a full heart.
Yeah.
I strongly agree. What do you say?
Yeah, exactly. We agree on matters related to money and finances. I think that's another full heart.
Yeah, I think
financially,
so.
I think we're stronger.
Yeah.
We're stronger financially than we are. We are comfortable discussing our sex life.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree. Fully agree.
Yeah.
I feel connected with my partner emotionally.
I would say that was a
3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Analyzing results. Fantastic, Jack. You're on a 1-day streak. Keep up the good work. Results are ready. You have to answer it too.
Oh, sure.
Oh, so I get this. So basically, I answer, you answer, and it shows results in the app.
Oh,
so that way you can like anonymously.
Oh.
So I think for the video's sake, we do like the quiz together.
Okay.
But for the rest of the days, we do them separately.
Okay.
That way we can see and compare.
Oh, sorry.
No. I didn't. There's no instructions on this app. That's the thing. This app is kind of bad on the instructions, but well.
We'll do it the correct way.
We'll do it for the correct way, and then for when we record on camera, we'll have to do it together. That way we can actually talk about the answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll answer the same thing. We'll get the results, and I'm sure I'll have the screen recording of it. But day one, how do you like this app?
I wish it was a little bit more clear on the instructions, but I think it's this one question was interesting. We'll see.
Honestly, I feel like if you're paying, what was it, $100 a year for this?
Yeah,
you're getting ripped off.
Yeah, it's just simple like
Facebook quizzes type stuff.
Yeah, for $100 I could see maybe 20, but for $100 probably not.
Yeah, no. We would actually do some of these quizzes together, kind of like we did in the recording, rather than answering them separately through the phones. However, the app is actually not programmed to do that. So after we answer the questions together on my phone, she actually has to answer them separately on her own phone for them to count. There should actually be a toggle for this app that allows you to be like, hey, let's do this together, or do it separately on your own devices. I personally think some of these topics should be discussed together and give like a singular ranking on how both people should feel. However, I can see that for some relationship dynamics that aren't 50-50, that one person would overpower the other and they feel like they won't have a voice. So with that idea, that's why they should have a toggle. Like, hey, are you doing this together? Hit this button. You'll get one ranking and then it's separate. Instead of having this option, it only wants to give you separate reactions and conversations through the app rather than in person, rather than giving us the flexibility to do both. I feel like this app is kind of more like tight-lined to what it wants rather than how a couple determines what it wants. Besides the price, one issue with this format is there's actually no path or guide a user towards different issues. It doesn't really matter if you give a quiz negative or positive feedback, or you give your relationship negative areas in different aspects. The app has no suggestions, features, or any specific feedback for you. Everything is generic, including the articles from the expert. So let's say if you answer a quiz that you're bad at sex, nothing happens. If you say you're great at sex, nothing happens. You don't get any specific feedback. The app should actually open you up through different paths and guide you through different conversations to resolve different issues. Right now, the app doesn't do any of that. It's just open-ended. Pick your quiz, take it, whatever. Hence, you could actually waste your time by taking a bunch of different quizzes on things like food choice and chores, rather than actually focus on what your specific relationship needs. I'll say it again, but this app needs more AI-based features badly. For now, it's really just too generic for me to recommend those who seriously need it. If you're in serious relationship issues, just get a relationship counselor. Don't trust this app that's overly priced to fix anything for you, especially when it's so generic. To answer the question I proposed, is this app worth it for long-term marriage or relationships? Well, that answer actually depends. Honestly, the issues it outlines are very basic, with feelings on chores, sex, family and friends, and other topics that you should already know in your relationship, especially if you've been married for 10 years like I have. Not married, but if you've been in a relationship for 10 years. I will say that there are times during ebb and flow of relationship when communication does kind of stop, and this app may help bring you together, but you're going to need to search for specific topics on things you want to discuss, rather than having like any sort of artificial intelligence kind of guide you. For others, the questions on this app are very surface level and generic. You can probably find dozens of quizzes on the same categories online for free rather than paying for this app. Honestly, when looking up this app online, I do see things from like the Huffington Post where people talk about this causing an argument in a relationship. I'm like, if these generic ass questions cause you to have an argument, your relationship's already pretty fucked. Not gonna lie. Every great relationship should already discuss these topics, which is what my wife and I do. If you don't already have kind of like discussions like this, maybe instead of buying the app, just set aside 30 minutes per week for a marriage meeting rather than spending $75 per year on a generic app, or like do online quizzes for free. Like, I don't really get the selling point of an app, especially for this price, especially for things being so generic. I would say that this app would be good if you were like in the beginning of a relationship and trying to find out different compatibility, or the previously mentioned in a bad conversation, or in like the ebb and flow where you guys are too busy for work, don't have time to conversate with each other, so you can do it through the app. I can see it there. My wife and I felt that at the end of the day, nothing brought forth from this app was anything unique or new, but that's just us. Every relationship is different, so I recommend giving this app a trial run and seeing if it's worth it before you pay any money. Our relationship stayed at an 8.5 at the end of this trial, so for us, it's just a waste of money. Again, our main issues would be more geared towards outside factors rather than the interpersonal communications, so that's one factor. So guys, that's it for today's video on the Paired app. If you have tried it, then please leave a comment below. I'm also curious to see if you guys liked it or not, and how long you guys have been in a relationship for. That would be very interesting. I am so curious to see if my assumptions that this is good for like the beginnings of a relationship rather than those who are more of in like a long-term relationship is correct. While you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueJackJank. Lastly, have a fantastic day, everyone. I hope you find a great place in a relationship, either using this app or not, depending on what you choose. And I hope we can improve together.